Hello.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn podcast.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
July 13th already. We are marching towards halfway through July. Can you believe that?
Yes and no. Like, this summer's been kind of gross and rainy and hot and humid and miserable.
It's been pretty gross.
Yeah,
Sorry,
when it hasn't
my
been...
apologies to all the people that live in the South that you deal with this all summer.
But
We're
we don't,
not
so
used to it
we're
up here,
whining.
and I am the biggest complainer about the humidity. In fact, I've even been sending texts to Kelly complaining about the humidity, which she does not respond to.
It's probably because I'm just melting in a corner in my house and I don't want to
She's
move.
just like, I can't move to get the phone to text you back because I'm too hot. So today we've had a small reprieve in the sense that it's like 60 degrees out. It's still humid. It's just cold.
Gone the opposite way.
Yeah.
So I had to take my car to the car dealership this morning and get the oil changed. And the air conditioning was on.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, sitting under a vent. So I had my raincoat still on. I left my raincoat on. I'm sitting there knitting. And then the woman comes over and flips on the fireplace because they've got like a propane or natural gas fireplace.
Yeah.
And then another salesman walked by. He's like, "Oh, only in Vermont would you have the fire going in July." And I was like,
Yeah.
"It's about right."
I know. I had to turn the heat on this morning in my car.
Did you?
And this afternoon I had to turn the AC on because it was so sticky and hot in my car. It's ridiculous. But
Anyway, before we get too far, this is a Must Love Yarn podcast, and you can find us on all kinds of social media.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, Ravelry, our website, mustloveyarn.com.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on interwebs. And by interwebs, I mean Ravelry and Instagram as Junior Bird Kid.
Yeah. And you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins, and you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins. So,
excellent.
I have no finished objects this week, but I know you have.
I have one. I'm pretty excited. It's not the sweater. Sorry, that was a big lead-in, right? I'm really excited.
I know.
I finished.
But you caught up to me though. Like I
know.
just like stopped working on.
I finished the socks.
Yay!
I have 2 socks.
You could basically wear them today because it's
could.
cool enough.
Yeah, I know. And I made some poor clothing choices today. I didn't bring a coat because I figured the weather was going to do what it's been doing for the last 2 weeks, where they say it's going to be X number of degrees, and then you just add 10 or 15 degrees on. So I was like, oh, well, they say it's going to be like 65, so it's probably really going to be like 75 or 80. Nope. So I don't have a coat, but it's all right. So my socks are done. I'm very excited. These are...
You could put them on your hands and wear them as mittens.
I could. I might have
Cover
to.
your arms
I
a little.
know. I've actually surprisingly been okay. I think it's because it's humid enough that it's not actually that bad. These are for me. So this is really fun. This is Into the World. I figured it was about time I finally used some of the Into the World yarn. I had... I don't know how many skeins of it going back to like maybe the first trip to Rhinebeck ever, and I've never actually knit with any of it because what is that about?
It's too pretty.
I know,
It just
it
wants
is
to
pretty.
sit there and
So I
make you
finally
happy.
cast on. So this is the Madame Vostra colorway. So now I'm gonna have to knit some more Into the World socks because these are really cool.
Sweet.
It was fun yarn to work with too.
They have some really cool yarns because so if you go to their booth, they have the same colorways but dyed differently. So they'll have like the one that Ange has where it's kind of just random, more variegated. Then they'll have micro stripes, and then they'll have wider stripes. And they'll have samples of them all across the top of their booth so that you can see. And the colorways look so differently done, the different
they absolutely
dyeing
do.
techniques. It's really cool that they do it that way.
Yeah, it's. I think I have one that I bought last year that's supposed to be a micro striper.
I do too.
I may do that one next because that micro striping is super fun.
I have one. It was funny. I came across it the other day when I was doing some cleaning up in my craft room, and I've got the scissors lizard Spock, which is a Big Bang Theory reference, in the micro stripes. It's pretty.
Nice. Mine's a green like green, white, and black kind of. And it's totally possible that I thought I was picking up the micro stripes and I picked up one of the others.
I know. So, well, and sometimes they're really good about keeping their booth like organized, but when we are there, it's right across from where Miss Bab's booth is. So
yes.
And it in its own right is very busy, the Into the World booth. So you know, things can get put back in the wrong place sometimes, which shocker, right?
It just happens. Totally just happens.
Yeah.
So you're on the ribbing.
I am on the ribbing, yes, indeed. So I
super cool.
Knit the last of my 4th color, and I'm doing the ribbing, and I've only got like an inch of ribbing left to go until the body is done.
Nice.
So, and I think it's funny. Ange and I
were doing a fade,
holding the sweaters.
Here we can do it again because I have a fade too.
We were standing up and kind of comparing because, you know, it looks really long when I'm holding it this way, but I think because of the weight of it, once I get it on and it's stretched out over, I think it's going to kind of pull some of that length up. I don't like having, you know, if you like bend over to reach something out, like my back showing or, you know. So I don't mind a little bit longer, but there is kind of that cutoff point
where it gets too long, it's sort of unwieldy and will start to stretch.
Yeah, that much. And it just isn't flattering for like my body shape.
Right.
So that's kind of.
I'm in the ribbing too. I have about 3/2 to 3/4 of an inch.
See, I should have done something different with my fading because mine looks more like color blocks.
How did you fade yours?
I did 14 rows total of 1 switching alternating rows. And I think I should have done more like what you did because you did 2 rows.
I did 2 rows. You couldn't see it. One of the color changes you can see it a little bit better.
Yeah. But so I should have done it a little bit more, a little differently, I think.
This one right here you can see more.
Yeah.
But it's the 2x2.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. We'll see how it goes, and look at that color pooling. Isn't that crazy?
That's fun.
Crazy. So it started. You can actually see because it started in the section where I was fading it, and then it's got the bright pink shock like right next to the peach. It's really funny. And then that's the other side, and it's doing it too. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So maybe next week we'll both have our fade bodies bound off, and we'll be working on the sleeves, which I was complaining about last week.
And she wasn't even there yet.
And I'm just anticipating the sleeve slog. But I haven't counted. I think I have like almost 500 stitches in the round. So the sleeves should, because it's A-line, right? So
that's right. You keep your increasing.
And
that's right. I'm
probably,
like, why do you have so many stitches?
No, it's not 500. It's probably not 500, but it feels like 500, and it feels like it takes me forever to do a row.
Yeah.
So when I get to the sleeves, I think there's like 80 something stitches on the sleeves, so it should be really fast.
You'd be like, wow, these are so quick. Yeah.
And then you'll be just decreasing for the sleeves as well. So.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Nice. So your fade is.
It's coming
along quite well too. You're
coming.
Getting close to. Are you on the ribbing?
Yeah.
You are. Okay.
Yeah, I have like 3/4, somewhere between. So I think my measuring tape's broken. Remember I was having measuring issues last week where it's probably just me. So I'm somewhere between 3/4 and an inch, and I need 1.5 inches.
Gotcha.
Of ribbing.
I'm gonna do like 2 inches of ribbing on mine, and I think I'm like 1.25 inches right now. So.
I mean, I could
not too far.
Do shorter, or I could do longer. I mean, I could get to the 1.5 inches and be like, I think I might do a little bit more, but probably not, because I'd be like, I'm done, and it's going to take me 7 hours to bind this off. Well, not quite 7 hours, but
it'll take you a while, though.
It'll take me a while.
Yeah, so it's coming along, and I'm gonna just like push through and get the sleeves done and everything too. Once I try it on, because I'm not gonna spend time doing the sleeves if I try it on and it's just way too long or way too something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I will need to try mine on as well and see how I did. Because there is that.
Yeah.
Yep. Adventures in knitting.
So what else you got going on?
So I'm working on what I'm calling Patriots hat here, because these are kind of like Patriots colors. So my son William picked out this yarn. It's the Lollipop yarn. It looks small. It's not. It stretches. Hats are stretchy like that. And it's just, see, look at how big that gets.
It looks great. I love the colors. She does such a nice job with the self-striping yarn.
She does. And so it's on her beefcake base, the colorways American Dream. It's supposed to be a sport weight. It doesn't really look like, or it's not knitting up.
It's kind of a heavier fingering weight, it looks like.
These are 2.5s. That's my fabric. But anyway, it's fine for a hat. Yeah. He picked out the yarn. And so I just started. I'm not using a pattern. I just cast on, I think it was 108 stitches.
Yep.
I'm just making stuff up, just so you know. I mean, I'm not doing any measurements or like measuring this hat. I know.
I would have never guessed.
Just winging it. Did some ribbing. So she provides with her socks. You get a ball of yarn, but then you also get contrast that's for heels.
Oh, nice, and that's what you use for the brim.
So I use that
for the ribbing.
The ribbing, and then switch to the main color, and then I probably will use the rest of this for the pom-pom that I'll check in.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Him. When he saw me using this, he was like, "That's for my pom-pom," and I was like, "Okay, well, there's enough."
Yeah.
So that's probably what's gonna happen, and it's very possible that, because the hat isn't going to take that much, that I will have enough to make myself perhaps some shorty socks out of the leftovers.
I bet you will, yeah.
So, we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is, my new travel knitting project, because I don't have a pair of socks on the needles quite yet. And I'm kind of zipping along. Had a film conference or two this week, but just been kind of la.
Yep. Nice.
So
the only other thing, I've got a couple of things. I've still got Batad, the Stephen West pattern that I'm doing. Is coming along, but that's kind of been sitting on the back burner because I wanted to get the sweater really. So I don't know. This probably isn't much further than the last time I showed you guys. Sort of, except for it's all inside out.
Hopefully you didn't drop any stitches or.
Nope.
Good.
I didn't. So there it is. I'm on the 4th gradient color, which is a darker one. So it's coming along. I love this part where it's the short part where you're not doing any short rows. It's like this little ruffly spot. I like it.
Kind of cool.
So yeah. So that is coming along well. And then spinning's the only other thing I have. So if you have more knitting.
Nice. I have one more thing of knitting. The sweater's really just been sucking up most of my time.
Yeah.
Because I've been really trying to get after that. So for anybody who follows me on Instagram, you saw my yarn choices and dilemmas. So I did decide to go with, it's getting kind of blown out. La la. That's a little bit better.
Hold it back, usually.
There we go. Malabrigo sock, Legacy Fiber Arts, Skein of Thrones, the Winterfell colorway. And what is probably not being picked up by the camera is this skein has pops of this color in it, along with some grays and some pinks and some darker grays and blacks. So this is going to, and there's Kelly to show it off. There it is.
Yeah, you can see it. It's not focusing very well, but
I think it's probably too close.
That
only has a certain. If you get too close, it's like, whoa, what are you doing? Whoa. So this is going to become Clockwork by Stephen West.
That's one of his earlier ones, right?
One of his earlier ones. So the gray is this light green, and then the blue color is going to be this more variegated color.
It's going to be so pretty.
Thank you. I'm pretty excited, though. I
love this color. Well, I love them together.
Yeah, I brought I didn't actually bring this one in. I brought a different Skein of Thrones. I brought the newest one that Kelly has. And I was going to try to match it. And then we have this because this is a prize for our legacy knit-along. And I was like, I have that one. And then I saw that on the shelf, and I was like, ooh. Ew.
Yeah, it is perfect.
So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, the brown did go home with me, so I do have that.
She's going to use it for something
I'll use it for something. It'll go with probably the other.
Yeah.
Because it matched so good. But anyway, getting back to the clockwork. So I have this much done, which is I cast on and got the stitch markers put in. And then haven't done anything because my brain lately, I have to actually count while I'm doing this. I'm setting stuff up or doing other things, and my brain was just like, what? I had to count like 4 times, and I was getting a different number every time I was counting my cast on stitches.
But you do have just a wee bit of stuff going on in your life. So
yeah. So I just put it aside because I was like, I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah.
If I continue to sort of push this where my brain is right now, so I'm going to mess something up and I'm going to have to rip it out.
Yeah.
So let me deal with this other stuff, not be as distracted. That's why I was like, I think it's about 108 stitches because I just kind of cast on and eyeballed it and then was like, close enough.
That looks like William's head. Perfect.
It'll stretch. If not, it'll fit his sister, and then he'll be upset.
But Mom!
I know. That was supposed to be for me. Yeah. So maybe I'll have some more progress on this next week if I can get my head into a space where I can actually focus.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I suppose I guess that counts as a work in progress because I actually knitted.
It's on the needle.
1 row.
There you go. Yeah. It's on the needles.
I know, right?
All right, so let's talk about some spinning.
Yeah, spinning.
So I brought this bobbin to show you guys, and now I have this one too. So this is all of the Wing and a Prayer Farm Shetland mohair that I had. So it's just under 8 ounces. I think she had 7.8 ounces listed on the bag. So that's all done.
Nice.
I've been keeping up with my goals. So then I started. This is a full one. This is a 3 feet of feet from Feep.
3 feet of feet.
3 feet of
sheep.
Yeah, it's afternoon. Can you tell? 3 feet of Feep. 3 feet of sheep from fried. I
wonder what that would do to the search engines if we made that our title. 3 feet of Feep.
We've had Speep, and now we have Feep.
You see a pattern here.
We can't say sheep.
No.
Well, Speep was because he was a spider sheep.
He was a spider sheep, yeah.
That kind of makes sense. But anyway.
Yes, anyway.
Feep. We don't know what.
We have no idea. Apparently, you've been reading Dr. Seuss.
I think so. Yeah, so this is 3 feet of sheep from Practice Fibers. And I'm going to try to make it through this. And this is the tourmaline colorway. And so it's
so pretty.
Nice, pretty pale colors. And I started at this end. And I just finished this color. So I basically got the blues and greens left.
You're trekking right along.
This is that bobbin.
Nice. Is your goal to have it all plied by the end as well?
Yep. So the way I spaced it out, I basically left myself, if I did about an ounce a day, that would get me through the first 16. So the Tour de France, Tour de Fleece runs in conjunction with Tour de France, if you guys aren't familiar with it. And the Tour de France is a total of 23 days with 2 rest days. So it's 21 active race days.
Okay.
And within those, you can, so on the rest days, you can rest. There's nothing that says you don't have to. If you want to keep on spinning, you can.
Right.
So since I have about 16 ounces of fiber, I figured if I spun an ounce every day, then, that would get me through the first 16. And then usually I like to let the bobbin sit for a little while just to let the twist set, and then ply them. So I've got plenty of time to ply them. So my goal really was, I didn't want to do a huge one because I knew I didn't have a lot of time, to get spinning done. So I left myself a little wiggle room. So if there was a day here or there where I didn't get a full ounce done, then I would have some time to get it done. So I'm pretty sure I've been staying on track. So I should have plenty of time to get everything plied. And then if I get all of that done, then I will probably, I've got tons of fiber, and not literally, but I do have a lot of fiber. So I'll probably just grab something else, and so if I finish, I'll just
start spinning something else.
Get something else on the bobbin. So
as a non-spinner yet, plying does not take as long as spinning?
It doesn't, no, and it, well, I mean, it depends, but usually no. I'm spinning this fairly thin, so my finish is going to be kind of like, I think, probably like a heavy fingering light sport weight when it's plied. And no, typically plying doesn't take as long, but usually when you sit down to ply, a lot of times you like to have a big span of time because you want to get at least
do it all, or
your bobbins
emptied
for that go, because otherwise then you have to leave it kind of coming out of your wheel. Whereas when you're spinning, you can just pull the fiber off like I did with this one, and you leave it kind of fluffy so that when you go to add your next color, you have something to kind of grab onto.
Yep.
And then you can just walk away from it and you don't have anything coming off your wheel. I like to make sure that when I'm plying, I have time to sit down and get the plying done, because I've got the dogs running around. This morning they almost knocked my wheel over. They were horsing around so much in the house. So I can just see them like running underneath where the two plies are coming out and like trailing it all over the house. I can totally see that happening.
Chaos.
So I want to be able to sit down and just get it done. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, I'll probably do it on a day when I have a day off, so I can just, or one of my mornings where I come into the shop a bit later, so I have a good amount of time to get it done. Yeah.
So, I mean, how long would it take you to ply, like, I guess, two of them, right? Because you're plying them together, but.
Yeah. So if I were to ply these two together, that's a good question. It would probably, hour or two maybe. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but it kind of depends on how much yardage I ended up with on each one. So these aren't full. Well, this one's not quite full either. But usually when you end up plying, for me, I end up packing my bobbins pretty good, just because, if you have your singles that are filling your bobbin when you're putting two strands together, they're really going to get full. So, and I don't like having to cut them if I don't have to.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get a little bit fuller on this bobbin. I'll probably do at least one more color, do at least one of the blues, and then I'll start a new bobbin. So I'll apply those two together.
Because those two bobbins are fuller.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll do this one with the blues and greens that are left. So, and then I'll start, and what I'll do is I'll start with the two smaller ones, this one and the greens and blues, and kind of you work backwards, so then you can preserve the colors. I mean, it doesn't matter, but.
Cool.
So, yep, that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
So it's coming along, and it's fun, and I'm kind of sad now that I hadn't spun in so long.
Yeah, nice to get back into it.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, I really miss doing this. So it was I'm glad that I got started again with it this year, because it's been a lot of fun, and it's nice and quiet. And I was realizing that as I was sitting at the car dealership, because there was like so much noise. So they had like morning TV on. I'm sorry if you like it, but I loathe it. Like as soon as like the local news is over, I'll watch like the first half hour of like the national news, and then I turn it off, because I can't stand all the like stuff that comes on. And then all throughout the day, like I don't have the TV on for that kind of thing. Like if there's a show I want to watch, like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or something, then I'll put something on. But like that just chatter, and there was just so much noise there that I was just like, this is why I love living in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, we're one of those households that does not have the TV on as background noise. Like I've been to those houses and I get overwhelmed because there's just so much noise and I'm not used to it.
Well, especially with kids too. I mean, you have the TV and then adding kids and
on top
pets and everything else.
Crazy.
Yeah. So. I know. I was just like, I was in sensory overload.
Yeah,
I think
really
a little
what
bit.
It is.
And it's so funny because I'm not in situations like that very often. So when I was like really realizing it this morning, I was just like, oh my God. Because then there was like a woman there and she owned a store and she had one of her vendors there and she was like buying stuff while her car was getting fixed. And then like, there was a sales guy like right behind me in his cubicle. And he was like talking really loudly and like all this. I'm seriously,
my head's gonna explode.
Yeah, I'm seriously gonna have to put headphones in my purse so that if I'm ever in situations like that, I can kind of just like drown it out a little bit because I was sitting there knitting, but it was,
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to count at all in that situation.
Thankfully, I was just doing the ribbing, but
enough trouble counting in a relatively quiet place.
Yeah,
my head's just not.
And maybe it was just like my mood for the day because I don't always feel that way. Sometimes that kind of thing I don't really notice it, but for whatever reason today I was just whoa.
Oh. Nice. So I see some new yarn sitting in front of you.
Yes. And I didn't bring the other colors, so
she's so excited about this one color.
I really am. I've been like on this total like fall color kick for a while now. So I've been talking about Anniversaire by Veer Valimaki and how I really, 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 really want to knit it. Well, and I just didn't know which yarn I was going to use, and I found my yarn. So we've been starting, some of our fall yarns have been starting to trickle in. And this is one of them, and it is a Trendsetter yarn, and it's a new yarn by them, and it's Trendsetter New York, and it's made in Turkey, but it's called New York.
Fancy.
And it is 100% organic wool, and it's certified organic wool, and it's lovely. It has like a really rustic look to it.
Is it DK weight?
It's DK, and it has like a nice heathered rustic look to it. But it's quite soft, so a lot of times when you see a yarn like this, more of a farm yarn type yarn, they tend to be a little bit crunchier, and this has, it's definitely a wool. You're not going to mistake it when you pick it up. That is not wool, but it's really quite soft. It's really lovely. The price point on these are amazing. I think they're like $8 a skein.
That's nice.
Yeah, they're 50 gram skeins, so I do need the entire bag to do the sweater. So the Anniversaire, you're supposed to wear it with, I think, 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. So the way the sizing was, I would end up doing, I think, a size 40 just to have enough positive ease for the way the sweater's supposed to fit. So I ended up needing just over 9 skeins. So there's 10 skeins of bag, so I need basically the whole bag to do it. So, but that's not bad for a sweater.
So basically what Kelly's trying to tell you is you can't get this color because she took the whole bag.
You can pass it. Yes, I did. I took the whole bag of this, but there are some...
We can probably get more.
Yes, we will order more of this because once people see me knitting it, they're probably going to want it. But there's a really lovely light gray, there's a charcoal, there's what they're calling a black, so they all have melange after them, which is because they're kind of like that heathered look to it. There's a gorgeous chocolate brown, a forest green, a purple, a teal color that's really lovely. So there's a bunch of them, and so this one was just kind of called to me. So
nice.
Yeah. So this is going to be my anniversary. So I might have to do 2 Rhinebeck sweaters, but because I'll finish my braid hills, I hope, and then I want to cast this one on. But I am not balling up any of these until my featherweight is done. I am not doing it. You heard it here. I'm not going to do it. So keep me accountable.
Until your flax light.
I mean, my flax light, not my featherweight.
I was like, did you cast on another sweater that I didn't know about?
Flax light, my flax light, not my featherweight. Yeah, so I'm going to do that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I know. I'm so bad. I can't help it. And then I have other acquisitions to show you all too, so.
I have, other than the Skein of Thrones that we both got, I think that was the last installment of the Skein of Thrones.
Yeah, and I put it on here wrong. I have to remember to change that, but that's fine. I will do that.
I think our new favorite for both of us accessories store is the Sexy Knitter.
Oh, yeah.
Because we both have gotten those great stitch marker bracelets. In fact, I'm very excited. It's Star Wars night at the Lake Monsters tomorrow. Saturday night. And I think I can wear that as my, Star Wars sweetness. But she's got these great little tins.
They're cute.
That you can get just the tin, or you can get them filled with things, and she has different levels. This is like the medium.
Oh, that's cute. I didn't know she did a magnet in the lid.
There's a little magnet in the lid. It's super cool.
That's great.
So things stick there. And these cute little scissors.
And hers are really sharp too.
Yeah, and great little tape measure, because you can never have too many tape measures. I can never find one.
And William likes to play with them too. So
he does. So does Abigail.
Does she?
They both do. Yeah.
Well, I saw her at the game, but other than that, I haven't seen her since she's been able to do this with him. So.
Yeah. So I bought this tin. So she's got different little sayings and or different things. So I had to buy this one. I was singing it earlier. I may not sing it again, but so I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s. And Sir Mix-a-Lot was huge when I was growing up. So this is supposed to be to the lyrics of Baby Got Back. It says, I like thick fleece and I cannot lie. You other knitters can't deny. When alpaca walk by with their itty bitty necks and their big fleece on their backs, you think yarn. How could I not buy this?
That's great.
So anyway, that was
That's great.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Sexy Knitter on Etsy. Check her out.
Yep,
she's got
great.
some cool stuff.
We linked to her a couple weeks ago, but I'll link to her again.
Yeah, since apparently we keep buying things from her.
She's great. I got to meet her at TNNA. Obviously not this year. We didn't go this year or last year.
Nice.
And yeah, she's very nice. So Ange and I both got the most recent Skein of Thrones club from Legacy Fiber Arts.
Yeah.
So this is Moon Door.
And Kelly is better than me. I didn't bring mine in.
So it's kind of these pops of blue and browns, and it's kind of the base color is like a nice tannish gray. So it's really pretty. It's really funny because Ange's Skein, hers has so much more blue, and it might be that mine is just not showing on here, but hers had like this really bright, intense blue on it. But I really like this one. That's kind of more muted.
Yep.
But it's very pretty.
And I had pulled, for the people that were following me on Instagram, had pulled this skein and a chocolate sparkle brown of Fiber Stash.
Chestnut colorway from Fiber Stash.
Yeah. To do that clockwork as another alternative for the clockwork shell.
Yep.
And I decided to do the green, the mint chocolate chip.
Yes, indeed. So that's that one. So that's one acquisition.
But you have more.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
So I also was on Etsy. So, and I got some Wing and a Prayer Farm from Tammy down in Shaftesbury. Tammy, who we adore. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And it's so cutely wrapped. She wrapped every skein. So I've got 3 of these. They're the same. And this is her Taconic Twist yarn. And this is naturally dyed with calendula with iron.
Cool. That's a beautiful greeny.
Isn't it? It's kind of like greeny, yellowy gray. Yeah, it's really lovely. So I got the last 3 skeins she had of this color. But she's also got, I think she's got a logwood, which is kind of purple. And then, shoot, what was the other? She had a yellow one. I don't remember what it was dyed with. But yeah, she does natural dyeing with hers. So that's really pretty. I'm going to do a shawl with these because I've got lots of yardage. Nice. It's kind of like a sport DK weight. So it's really, really lovely. So I just love her yarn. And then the other one is, it's one that, it's hers, and also...
Are we going to get some more of her yarn in the
yes,
store?
Yes. When I was bouncing some messages back and forth with her, she's going to put together a list of the yarn she's got coming up this fall.
Excellent.
And then put a box together for us.
Cool.
So we'll
Fantastic.
have some more because we're very low on her yarn.
Yeah, it's because it's popular, because it's so beautiful.
It's really lovely. And so many people, she's got a great following on social media.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, she's got, she's most active on Instagram. And she posts a lot of pictures of her day-to-day life on her farm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool, and she's really, really sweet. And I've gotten the great pleasure of getting to go down there and meet all of her critters. So, so this is the other yarn, and it's called the Happiest Yarn. And it's a little kit, and so they're it's a total of 12 ounces, and they're 1 ounce skeins, so that you get 12 different colors. And it's comprised of 4 parts Shetland from Wing and a Prayer Farm, 1 part Romney from Doc Mason wool, which Ellen Mason, she's on Instagram too, and she's phenomenal. And then she has her own Etsy store too. And then 1 part merino from Bat and Kill Fibers. So nice. They're the ones that processed it, the wool. So let me fold this back. And there's a great hat pattern that comes with this. And
that is super cool.
And it's a Mary Jane Mucklestone pattern that comes with it. So, whoops, some of them are kind of poked down and hiding, but so this is the Happiest Yarn, and you can see it's quite happy colors.
That is happy.
So yeah, they're really, really, really soft and pretty. So get all these fun little 1 skein bundles that are dyed.
That's
so
awesome.
Ellen uses acid dyes, and she does hers that way. So that's where some of the really vibrant colors are coming from. And then Tammy uses the natural dyes. So you've got a fun combination of both, which is very cool. And I didn't bring the pattern to show you, but I'll link to it. I'm pretty sure you can get the pattern on Ravelry. So, but it came with the kit that I got.
Nice.
So yeah, so that was exciting. And
so, and is that on Wing and a Prayer's shop? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on Wing and a Prayer Farm Etsy store, and they're getting low on them. So so if it is something that you'd be interested in,
act now.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Operators are standing by.
Because they had a whole bunch of them, but they had, kind of a limited supply of what they did have, and they've sold through a lot of them.
Cool, because they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're really lovely. The hat is so gorgeous, knit up, and they didn't use all of the colors in the hat too, so you'd be able to make, a few of them. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Good value then.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
And you get the adorable little project bags too.
Yeah.
So those are all my, well, it's not all of my exhibitions because that was all I brought. I did get my embroidery books did show up.
Nice.
So so I do have those, but I didn't bring those because I figured we'd probably be a little bit crunched for time, and I didn't want to drag on about those. So if we have more time next time, then I'll bring those. And I also, I did take some, well, they're not, remember I was going to, I was talking about how I was going to reorganize my craft room space. Yeah. So they're not exactly before pictures because I started kind of moving some stuff around and pulling stuff down. And then I was like, oh crap, I have to take pictures. So it's a little bit
more messy
than it was before. But I took pictures and I've started implementing my organization project. And so I'm going to keep working on that. But I have the chicken coop is probably going to be ready this weekend. He's kind of putting the finishing touches on it. Nice. And so he'll do that on Saturday, and I'm working Saturday, so it'll mostly be done. So over the weekend, I'm going to paint and stain it. I'm going to paint the inside and then stain the outside, I think. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to do it lighter colors.
Nice.
I think I'm going to do, I love the look of the white with the really dark green trim. Mm-hmm. So it looks like very traditional. Mm-hmm. It's funny, so a lot of barns in the south are painted that way, the white with the green trim. Mm. But the farmhouses up here are painted that way, and the barns are red. Yeah. So it'll look like a little farmhouse from up here or a barn from down south. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do, because I really like the look of that. I think it's cute. So I think that's going to do. And it also, for one reason, it'll help keep it, especially in the summer, from getting really, really hot.
Yeah.
So, and it's well insulated, so in the winter it'll stay warmer anyway for the little guys. But I did move them. I was telling Ange I moved the chicks out into the barn, and they're in still the pen that I made for them. It's a pretty good sized pen, but so they're not loose running around the barn, because my horse would not tolerate that. Actually, she probably wouldn't care, because she's got the little field birds that follow her around eating the bugs. But yeah, they're in their pen. But I wanted to like transition them to a new step and keep transitioning them, because they'll be in the coop this weekend probably. Yeah. Once the paint's dry, I won't put them in when it's wet. I don't want white chickens. So anyway, yeah, I didn't take any more video of them, because, well, actually they are a little bigger. They look like just miniature chickens now. They don't really look like chicks. They've pretty much got all their feathers, and
we'll put some video in next week.
Yeah, I'll take some video, because once we move them into the coop, I'll take some video of them checking out the place.
Awesome.
So yeah,
and we'll throw in our Kelly's Peep update at the end.
That's right.
Next week.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little verbal update this week, and then we'll give you a little video update next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we've got, I'm skipping over my upcoming projects because I talk about them later.
Yeah, I already did.
Events, we've got the Great Northern Yarn Haul is currently going on, and it runs through July 23rd, and we've had some yarn haulers in, so welcome to all of our yarn haulers. It's been nice.
It has been. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's always fun, kind of meeting people, that they wouldn't necessarily come this way, except for now that they have the yarn haul that they're coming to see. So so it's a lot of fun, and
people get to see some new areas, meet some new people, see some new shops, learn about shops that maybe they didn't know existed.
I know, there were some people that came in, they're like, I have never even heard of this shop, and they're like, I'm so glad that you guys are doing this, because I wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's neat. And
it's cool.
A lot of it's great that the shops, want to work together to do this, because
we all carry. Everybody carries different stuff. I mean, nobody really can carry everything.
I know, it's so true. There's so many yarn brands out there.
Oh man, yeah.
That really, there's so much. There really is a lot of room in it for as many shops as are participating too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's fun. That's going on. Rhinebeck, we've got the bus, and people keep reserving seats. So if you would like to go, get your seat reserved.
That's right.
It's October 21st. We've got it all correct now everywhere, and my brain has it on the right date.
Yep.
So that'll be a fun trip. That's always great. If you haven't been to Rhinebeck before, it is something else.
It is. It's a lot. It's amazing. You can do everything from petting the sheep and the alpacas.
They have a whole barn that is just rare breeds.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's very cool. And so you can do that to, looking at farm yarns, to looking at the,
some more commercial yarns, to indie
books
guide,
and
to
authors,
spinning wheels, fleece sale.
The fleece sale, to food.
The food. They have a whole building that Kelly and I get sucked into every year that's just local food, wine, soaps.
Yeah. It's like a mini farmer's market. Well, actually, it's not even mini.
Pickles, jerky, cheese. We don't even stand in line for the cheesemonger.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we are spoiled with cheese up here.
Yeah.
But, like, the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then the falafels for lunch.
Yeah.
But you have to get in line at like 10:34.
Yeah, we tend to eat lunch about 10:30, and then we have a snack about 2.
Yeah, we
or
usually
3.
sit down. We're getting pretty tired by like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So there's like a cookie vendor, and they do like hot chocolate and tea and coffee, and they also have the cookies too. So we usually go and seek them out for a little sugar boost. So yeah, no, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And then there's the podcaster meetup. That's usually about 1:00 in the afternoon. And that's really fun because we get to meet up with other podcasters that we've kind of become friendly with, and also get to meet viewers.
We get to fangirl ourselves over our favorite podcasts.
Yeah, we fangirl of the podcasters that are there too. But it's so funny because after podcasting, so last year we had a few people come up that had seen our podcast, but our
we
viewership,
were relatively new.
Yeah, our viewership has grown a ton. So I know I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you. If you're going to be at Rhinebeck, we hope you come up and say hi because we will be at the podcaster meetup. And
even if we're not, even if you see us just out walking around, please stop and say hi. Like, don't feel shy about coming up.
Absolutely not.
Maybe preface it by I watch your podcast, because otherwise we'll be like, wait, who are you? Or I follow you on Instagram, or something. Just put it in context a little bit, because otherwise you might get the like, who are you face.
So many people. Well, so many people through the store, and not that Rhinebeck's out of context necessarily, but sometimes it's hard to think about names and faces and online usernames and So, but we love.
But you'll see us. We'll probably have our little name tags with Must Love Yarn and our first names and our Ravelry IDs.
Yep.
So, because that's how I know a lot of people.
Yep.
I am always asking Kelly. I'm showing her like my Instagram feed. I'd be like, "Who is this?" Because they clearly go to the store, but I don't know what their real name is.
I know, it's funny. Yeah, so definitely, if you are going to Ravelry, please definitely come and say hi to us if you see us.
Yeah.
And even if it's not at the, like Ange said, if it's not at the podcast or meetup, if we're just wandering around, come and say hi.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
We might have some stuff to give you. Like cool buttons or some other stuff. Small child. I don't know. Just kidding. I probably have Abigail with me.
Yeah, we usually have our Must Love Yarn buttons. Sometimes we've got some pens or stickers or tape measures or rulers. We usually have some. We
might have to see what kind of cool new goodie we could do this year. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll sort that out. If you guys have any suggestions, what would you like us to give away? Not yarn. I know. You know what they're going to say? They're going to be like, those canvas bags that Kelly made.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of work. Kelly hand made those. Or hand stamped those.
I did hand stamp those. I didn't sew them, but.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
Moving along. We have 2 knit-alongs going on right now.
They're rapidly coming to a close.
I know,
because July. Oh my goodness. A couple more weeks and July's going to be done.
So we have the spring into summer shawl knit along and the Legacy Fiber Arts along. So get your finished objects into the finished objects thread so we can pull prizes. And I will say, like most of the other podcasters, it's supposed to run through the end of July. If you go out and the thread's not locked, go ahead and post. So it's open until we lock it, because we might, depending on what's going on, it may not happen immediately.
Yes. Sometimes it's a daily.
If the thread's not locked, post away.
Yeah.
It's still fair game until it gets locked. So.
And we have a wonderful prize thanks to Sue and Chelsea of Legacy Fiber Arts, Legacy Fiber Podcast, a Legacy Knits. That's their podcast.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. So thank you to Sue and Chelsea. We have a skein of, the yarn Ange is going to be working with the Winterfell colorway from the Skein of Thrones Club that they donated as a prize. So you can win that. And
Kelly and I will put together some fun prizes.
We're working on more prizes for that and for the spring into summer shawl knit along.
Yes.
So get your entries in. We've got the FO threads up on Ravelry. So go ahead and put your pictures of your finished objects up there, and we'll draw from there when July comes to a close.
Absolutely. And then when those 2 knit-alongs, craft-alongs close down, we're going to start a Rhinebeck knit-along, craft-along. I mean, generally, traditionally, there's the Rhinebeck sweater, but we're going to open it up to pretty much anything.
Because we know not everybody has time to get a whole sweater done, and which is totally understandable. And some years, you don't want a sweater because we've been
hot
there when it's been 80. And it's just, you wear it in the morning because it's usually cool in the morning, and you wear it for like the first hour or two until you can't stand it anymore.
And you take it off because it's too hot.
Yeah, so
we're still trying to sort out the details, and we had opened a thread on the Ravelry boards to solicit feedback. And it seems like a lot of folks are interested in using up some stash yarn, which is totally cool. So we're leaning towards saying you need to knit or make something from a couple of different designers. We're eyeballing Kate Davies and Tin Can Knits right now. So if you feel strongly one way or the other, or have some other suggestions for designers, please let us know. And probably what we would do is say, if you use yarn purchased from the store, that we would give you extra entries as sort of a motivation. And then we're thinking of doing something like, if you post pictures wearing your stuff over that weekend, doesn't necessarily have to be at Rhinebeck, but post pictures on social media or on the Ravelry boards, the 21st and the 22nd, you would get extra entries. Just, we're trying to make it fun, just make it a way for people to participate. And then, so we would probably do prizes then when we got back the following podcast week. So so that's kind of what we're thinking about. If you guys have more feedback or ideas, suggestions, we haven't set any of this in stone yet. We'll probably make those decisions by next week.
Yeah, just because we're closing in on when we want to get started on it.
Right, beginning of August.
Yeah, because I know that I really have to get cranking on Rhinebeck sweater, because usually things come up, and got a bunch of other things that, just end up coming up.
So I am personally, if we are sticking with Tin Can Knits and Kate Davies, thinking of doing an antler, potentially an antler cardigan, one for myself, and I probably would knit one for Abigail as well, because we're both going, so we can be matchy-matchy. So either that or caribou. So those are both Tin Can Knits patterns. But I've also got my eye on Kate Davies, and as best I can tell online, looking this up, it's an Irish word, Gaelic word, is the blachine, and it's spelled, I'll put it up down there because that's not even close to how it's spelled, sweater, which also comes in adult and child sizes, and it's color work, it's steeked, it's got interesting button band and buttonhole on it, so
it's cute.
It's super cute. The question is, do I want to do color work? I might. We've got all this great wool stock back there.
We do. The wool
that would be wonderful for that type of
sweater.
I've got to
do a reorder from them because their colors, we're getting low on it because it's such a wonderful yarn.
So I'm sort of torn. So
so give us your feedback on knit along, crochet along, whatever you guys would kind of like to see. And thank you for everybody who has given us their feedback
so far.
We definitely appreciate that. And so and we'll definitely of course have prizes as usual.
Probably Kelly and I will pick up some stuff down at Rhinebeck like we did last year.
Exactly.
Because that was super fun, I think, for folks.
That was fun, I know, and it was fun shopping for it. Maybe we'll do some fun pictures while we're doing it and be like, "Woo, here's your prize."
Absolutely. So, and we had our stitch and pitch this last weekend, which was super fun.
Yep, Ange and I walked through the stands hawking tickets.
We did.
We didn't see much of the game, unfortunately, or get to hang out with the knitters for very long, which I was kind of bummed about. But
that's all right.
But we did raise some money.
Almost $300 for Cast Off.
So, and
the stadium wasn't even half filled.
No, so it was kind of raining off and on all day that day. And the game didn't end up getting rained out, but it was so funny. At one point, it was raining out in right field, but left field was totally dry.
It was very weird.
It was so funny. So anyway, it ended up, it was fine. Everybody had a great time. And where the seats were for the knitters, they're under cover, so they didn't have to worry about getting wet, which was nice. But it was a lot of fun, and thank you to everybody who came out to the game. And we're sorry we didn't get to sit and chat with you as much as we would have liked, but we did raise a lot of money for a wonderful charity, and which is Cast Off Chemo. And Dr. David Craig, who is the researcher working on the project up at UVM, came out too, and he's such a great guy. It's just down to earth, and you can see when you listen to him talk about the charity and the work that he's doing, the passion behind it, and that cancer is
right.
And he just really wants to come up with a treatment
that's not chemo. That's what he's working on.
That's what he's working on.
An alternative to chemotherapy.
Yeah, and it's funny. He was talking to me about the grant process and how much that can actually limit their work
because it's specific and
and they're so close to moving it into human trials.
Yes.
And it's so promising that they're very close, and they just need the funding, and they think that they're going to be able to start doing the human trials, and which would be amazing.
So maybe what we can do is in our show notes provide a link to donate if anybody's interested. It's a really worthy cause.
It is.
And the money goes directly to the lab.
It does.
So it's not one of these charities where there's a giant cut that goes to administrative, or the actual people doing the work aren't getting a huge amount of money. This goes directly to Dr. Craig and his lab.
Yeah, we've got yarn that was dyed by Wool to Die For, and she dyed it and donated it to the charity, and we sell it here at the store. it sells for $20, and then every single cent of that, every month I write a check to Carrie Clement, who is managing the charity, and I write a check for every $20 skein that is sold. The money goes directly to the charity.
Right.
Then all of that money goes right to the lab.
Yep.
So it's helping him make a difference. And even though it doesn't sound like a lot, it really, every cent counts right now, because they're at a critical juncture in the research. So if you feel inclined to make a donation, we'll put all that information in show notes, so you can actually donate directly to the charity if you'd like. And thank you if you decide to.
Yes, exactly.
Something I think cancer has affected
most of us.
Just all of us. So,
So we are on that happy note.
I know, right? It's like, oh my gosh, that's not a good place.
Where do we go from here?
So anyway, I think we've showed you just about everything. Speaking of talking about cancer and everything, the knitted knockers.
Yes.
We are a drop-off point for knitted knockers, and we've gotten a new approved yarn in. So we've got the Haiku Kobasi DK, which is another great yarn that you can use for knitting or crochet. I think that one might be both knit and crochet. So they have ones that are knit or crochet, or sometimes both, and it depends on how they work up, because crochet can work up kind of dense and tight and rougher. So I have to look in their work, but I think that the Haiku Kobasi might be one that you can use for both. But anyway, we've got some really lovely colors in that. It's a really nice yarn to work with. And
it's the DK version of the MET that I was making, which was so fantastic to work with.
Yeah. So we do have that, and it's a great yarn, great for kids stuff too. Mm-hmm. So it's a cotton, silk, nylon, elastic, bamboo blend. It's a fantastic blend. It's got just a little bit of stretch to it, not tons, but just enough. So it's a great yarn
to knit with.
Yeah.
great to
Yeah,
meet with.
so we do have that, and that just went up on the website. So if you're not local, you can check it out there.
Yeah.
And then the Trendsetter Yarns New York, that's up on the website now too. That's a fabulous yarn. I can't wait to work with it. So yeah, take a peek at those yarns, the new yarns, and we're going to have a bunch more yarns coming in mid-August, and that's when a lot of our fall yarns are coming. So
right after we move.
Yeah, and I kind of planned it that way so that they'd be showing up after we move, so we wouldn't have to move them too.
Yeah.
Although there are a few that are coming in now, but yeah. So there's a couple of them I might have to call and be like, yeah, can you push it back a week or two?
Yeah, and I think just as a heads up, we have gotten our moving schedule all squared away. So August 7th, which is a Monday, and August 8th, which is a Tuesday, the store will be closed.
Yes.
Because we are relocating, literally
two doors north of where we are.
2 doors up.
Yep.
We will be having, and Kelly's going to send out email about all this. We're going to have a moving sale leading up to the moving date.
It's going to be in-store only, just because it's going to be easier that way for us. So an in-store sale leading up to the moving. But yeah, the store will be closed the 7th and the 8th, which is a Monday and Tuesday. And then mark the calendar for August 19th. We are going to have a big grand reopening party on August 19th. It's a Saturday, and
we're going to have some special guests.
We're going to have a really nice trunk show happening that weekend. So we don't have all the details squared away, so I'm not going to give any more away than that at the moment.
It's our little teaser for you.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope you can join us. So definitely save the date on your calendar.
There'll be snacks.
Of course.
There's always snacks.
There's always, we're all about food here. So, so save the date for the 19th of August.
Yes. Grand reopening.
Grand reopening. We'll do all kinds of fun
Party.
stuff. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to the move. The new space is phenomenal, and the new landlord has been doing some fantastic things for us. They put in a new window for us. Like, he's like, we've got an extra one. Do you want us to put it in for you?
Yeah, like, you would? He's like, yeah, I think just right over there. And we were like, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, it's got great parking.
Yeah.
It's completely handicap accessible.
It is. It's nice and smooth, flat in. And there's a light to get out, so if you're headed back north, if you've been here before, you don't have to do a loop around.
You can go right to the light.
Yeah, so it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to that move, and
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
be good.
So yeah, keep an eye, if you're part of our email list, keep an eye out for all the details of that. If you're not, you can go to our website, and on the upper left-hand corner, you can sign up for our email list if you'd like. Okay. Usually, we really don't send emails out very often, once a month, if that.
At the most.
Usually just to give update about classes or sales, or in this case, our move
events.
Yep. And that's really what we send emails out about. We're not going to bombard you once a week when all the new yarns come in.
No.
Just kind of not
we
what
do
we
that
do.
on Instagram.
We do that on Instagram and Facebook, because in that way, you can choose whether you interact with it or not. We're not going to fill up your mailbox.
Exactly.
So that's how we like to use it, and So
we want people to open it when we send one, not delete it like I do 3/4 of the emails I get.
I know. Yeah. So if we're not sending them all the time, it's just an update one. I think I like those.
People
kind of
tend to read them.
Yeah. So. Yeah, more like a newsletter and saying, "Hey, this is what's going on."
What's going on?
So
exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of the scoop for now, and I think next week we can get a podcast in. The week after that, I'm not so sure. If we'll be able to or not, but next week I think is looking open. So as far as my schedule,
so we'll keep you updated because next week we can, and actually I think that's good because the week after I don't think I'm going to be available either. So we'll see. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know.
If we have to podcast on an odd day, we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I can usually do something in the morning. So. But anyway, I
guess that's for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our returning viewers. I know we usually should try to do this at the beginning, but thank you for coming back and sitting with us for over an hour now.
Yeah.
And to any new viewers, thank you so much for checking us out. And we hope you enjoy your podcast. And if you do, you can hit the subscribe button down below somewhere there. Yep. And then if you hit the little bell-looking button, then you'll get the notification. So as soon as one of our episodes go up, it automatically notifies you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until next week.
Yeah. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Just making sure. Wah, wah.